1/2 stick of butter and a 1/4 cup of oil. Then we're gonna go ahead and put it in the oven, melt the butter. All right, what I got here is 2 cups of yellow cornmeal, and I have 2 boxes of Jiffy corn muffin mix I'm gonna add to it. All right, kind of get that mixed up. Then I got 3 eggs. I'm gonna add my 3 eggs. And I got 1 cup of buttermilk. You don't have to use buttermilk. You can use regular milk if you choose to, but I chose to use buttermilk. Just kind of mix it. I got a 1/2 stick of butter here and 1/4 cup of peanut oil. You can use any oil you choose to. Straight out the oven. And we're just gonna mix that in well. I'm gonna do it slow because I don't want to splash butter and oil everywhere. I would add a little more milk to it if I was just making regular cornbread to eat, but since it's gonna be for dressing, I'm not gonna add any more liquid to it. Like I said, because I'm making cornbread dressing, I want my cornbread to be kind of thick. So what I have here, I have 5 pieces of quartered chicken. It was just cheaper to buy that quartered chicken than it was to buy a whole chicken. I would normally use a whole chicken, but I got these 5 quartered chicken legs for $5 and some change. A whole chicken would have cost me like $10 and some. So there you go. I got my gizzards and my chicken leg quarters in there. Now I'm gonna add my salt, pepper, and garlic. Then I'm gonna add enough water, probably until it raised up like a 1/2 inch or so above the meat. Maybe a little higher, maybe 1 inch or so, because I want to add eggs later on. Once they start boiling, I'm gonna do my eggs in here as well. So maybe 1 inch or so above the meat. And you're gonna go ahead and turn that bad boy on and get it rocking. We'll be back. Almost forgot, you can add 5 or 6 bay leaves as well. Cornbread is done. We're gonna let it cool down a little bit. You can also make the cornbread a day before, a week before, a month before, 2 months before, have it in the freezer. But I chose to make everything fresh today. simmering for about 45 minutes now. I'm gonna go ahead and add my eggs into there. Go ahead and get them cooked. We'll be wrapping up everything in one pot. No need to keep dirtying up dishes. You're probably loving this recipe already, ain't you? I know you are. All right, we're gonna let them cook about 12 minutes, and we're gonna pull them out of there. All right. Sometimes they're kind of hard to find in there. I done got 4 of them out of there. I got 2 more in there somewhere. Yep, that's number 5. Let's get number 6 out of there. 1 more, and they're hiding. It's hiding good. There you go. There you go. That last one, we're gonna let that cook for like 15, 20 more minutes, and we're gonna turn that off. The eggs were in there for like 14 minutes. I said 12, but it was like more like 14 minutes. Get that cold water going, get them cool down. You can also use some ice if you got it, but we're not using it. We're just using cold water. And we're gonna go ahead and get these bad boys peeled and ready to go. Alrighty, and we're gonna use that later in this video as the chicken stock. Don't want to get rid of it, so hold on to it. We're gonna just let this sit here for a while and cool down before we get to tearing it apart. Alright, quick and easy way to do your eggs, so you ain't gotta sit there and chop them up. You can just use a little cooling rack. I know this ain't the prettiest cooling rack. I done had it for years, so it still does what I needed to do. Look how quick you get those eggs chopped up. Quick and easy. All right, got my cornbread in here. Gonna go ahead and break it up a little bit. All right, got the cornbread. And this here is 1 box or package of stovetop cornbread stuffing mix. Like to add that in there too. And we got our onions, peppers, and celery. Now we're gonna add our chicken and our gizzards. And you don't have to add this in no particular order either. And you got pimentos, you need 1 jar. 1 jar of pimentos. Then I got my seasoning right here. And we're gonna add some of this this dripping that the chicken and gizzard actually cooked in. You can also call it broth. That's your chicken broth. That's why I said save it for a later step. I'm just gonna pour a few in there to get us started. And we're gonna go ahead and start to mix it up a little bit. It's already starting to smell all savory. Smells good. I'm saving the eggs for last though, because I don't want to break the eggs up too bad. And you're just gonna keep adding your broth until you get that consistency that you want. You're not gonna use it all, but you don't want it too dry neither. Now I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of oil. I'm using peanut oil, but you can use the oil of your choice. It's just to help give it moisture. Yeah, we're gonna add some more the stock to it. We're gonna continue to mix it. Smelling good, it's looking good. I actually think that may be as wet as we want it. I think that's a pretty good feel right there, where we at right now. And lastly, we're gonna go ahead and add these eggs. You know, I figured, you know, we're getting closer and closer to the holidays. So I figure I would go ahead and make my cornbread dressing that everybody loves so much and give you an opportunity to try it as well for one of your holiday dishes. And I'm not a big stuffing man, so I prefer cornbread dressing. Not a big stuffing fan. And I hope you try this, and I hope you enjoy it. All right, I got it where I want it, and now I'm just gonna go ahead and get it panned off. And what I don't get in this pan is done intentionally. I plan to put some in the freezer, but when I get ready for it, all I gotta do is pull it out, thaw it out, and cook it. By the time I get it where I want it, I should have at least enough nice personal size pan. Yep, and we're gonna save this little bit aside for later. We're gonna freeze it and enjoy that at a later date. I could have put it all in an aluminum foil tin and made it all fit, but I don't want that. I wanted some for later, so I ain't gotta make it again no time soon until the holiday season come back around. But when I'm done with this, if I feel I want some more, just go in the freezer, take it out, let it thaw, and enjoy it. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get this in the oven, and I'll bring you back when it's done. And this will go in the freezer until I'm ready for it.
How you like that?